In this episode, I welcome Sabina Campbell, Senior Director SEO and E-commerce at Restaurant Supply, a leading online destination for commercial kitchen equipment and food service supplies. Sabina shares her extensive knowledge in technical SEO, content production, and customer acquisition strategies. During our conversation, Sabina explains the importance of a well-structured website, emphasizing the need for a proper use of H1 to H6 tags, optimizing meta titles and descriptions. She discusses the significance of Google's topical authority and EAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness in ranking well on search engines. Sabina also highlights the changing role of keywords, structured data, and the growing importance of Google Shopping. She provides insights on building trust, optimizing user experience, and the continuous nature of SEO efforts. Additionally, she touches on the impact of automation and AI tools in streamlining content creation and other processes. This episode offers valuable insights and practical tips for both small and large businesses looking to enhance their online presence and improve their SEO strategies. Join us as we explore the world of SEO with Sabina Campbell. Welcome to the Ecom Pulse, your heartbeat to the world of e-commerce. I'm your host, Eitan Kotter. Join us as we meet with industry leaders, marketing experts, and the innovative minds behind the tech that is shaping the e-commerce future. So plug in, gear up, and get ready for a pulse-pounding journey into the heart of e-commerce. Hi, Sabina. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. We're going to talk about a lot of things today because your background covers so many different topics, right? So during the prep call, you shared with me your technical background, right? And you actually did software development and coding, and you're a Shopify or Magento expert, but you're also very knowledgeable and experienced around SEO type of things, content production,
Yep.
customer acquisition, platforms. So let's start maybe by you sharing more about Restaurant Supply and about your role in the company.
Yeah, so Restaurant Supply is a restaurant equipment and supply store, one of the top in the nation. We really, one of the benefits of working with Restaurant Supply is that we do have live chat and customer product experts available all through the night. We do chat, phone calls, so we really take care of our customers. We work with over 400 manufacturers, some of the top equipment and supply companies in the world.
Amazing. And what part of the overall business is online versus offline? Or
Restaurant Supply is an e-com.
So it's 100% online, right from the get-go.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing. And primarily your business is a B2B business, right? So what are the steps you need to take to educate the market to purchase those type of products? I guess there are also large ticket items over there, right, as well.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, we sell just about everything for really about everyone. So, you can buy anything from a spatula to a baking oven. So it depends on what category you're looking for, but we sell a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yes. And what are the steps you take to acquire new customers?
Well, a lot of customers know who we are, and a lot of customers search for us, search for keywords, and we optimize for certain keywords on the categories we offer.
And how is it? How do you do that? How customers don't know about you? How do you expose the name, the brand? Tell us more about the SEO in details. What exactly you do there?
Yeah, so the Google algorithm really optimizes now for topical authority. So we talk a lot about, we offer a lot of informational blogs talking about what different types of categories of products are and breaking them down and telling them who needs it and why. And this goes into EAT, which is a Google really standard operating procedure on how you're supposed to, or best practices and how you're supposed to do it. So it talks about giving value to the customers, and that's something we've really done and optimized for in the last probably 2 years.
Do you see any change in what Google cares about? Obviously, everyone writes blogs, right? But
they're getting harder and harder. It's before speed wasn't as big a deal. Now they don't just go into the basics. They go all the way through the experience, the user experience. You have to optimize the whole user experience. It's not just about landing there. It's about staying there, converting the clients. So retention. And I mean, there's, speed is definitely a big part of it. Structuring your website correctly is a big part of it. I've seen a lot of websites that forget to even add an H1 tag. And would you ever pick up a book without a title? It's the same thing. You wouldn't read a website without an H1, and that's what Google sees. And also I've seen it, optimized incorrectly where they use irrelevant keywords or not keywords at all, just because it looks good to use an H1 and an H2, and then there's multiple H1 tags. Google really appreciates or standardizes to use H1 to H6, structuring it correctly. So if you're talking about an H2, those H3s should be relevant to those H2s, and so on.
So you can write amazing blogs, rank very high on first page of Google search results. The visitors will click, will redirect it to the website. But if they just spend their 3 seconds or even 30 seconds and didn't purchase or didn't actually move or hyperlink to another product pages or anything, then Google will reduce probably the ranking of this website, right? So you need to have real performance once visitors are actually
and you need to give value. You need to link to different categories that are interesting. Yeah, definitely keep people on the website reading about different things and structuring it correctly for your segment.
Yes. So value, what it means? It means providing more content, answering customer problem, pain points. Or what does it mean for you as a technical specialist, SEO specialist?
Yeah, so, answering pain points is a big deal, and answering Google queries as well. It's a balance between the two because you're writing for an algorithm and for the people, so you're not, it's definitely a balance between the two. So there's structure, technical SEO that you need to hold to. And then there's also the content value and giving the people value, like how do you clean? Why do you do this? And answering questions that people are asking.
Yes. So what are some of the best practices? I mean, SEO best practices and some of the technical implementation that are like fundamentals and, any brand must implement on their own websites.
Definitely the structure in, speed, SEO, like the structure. So like, for example, if you have a page and the H1 is best stovetop, right? And there's a picture on there, but the picture is image 75_3. That picture doesn't explain what it is, but if that picture alt tag and picture file name and everything matches the H1, then Google will give more value to that. Meta titles, keywords not as relevant. Some use it, some don't. I still do implement that. Meta descriptions, they need to be both clickbait, but also be relevant to the keyword or the subject of the page. So there's a huge part of it. And most people get about 80% of it. It's us that get the 100% that start ranking and outranking those companies that spend millions, and we don't have to because we actually hold to best practices all the way through.
Yes. So what I hear you saying is that for a certain page, it can be a PDP or a blog, it doesn't matter, all the H1, H2, whatever structure, the meta tags, the alt tags, there should be some kind of a logic of coherency between the statements, the descriptions of that specific page, right? It needs to be aligned to the theme of that page, is what you're saying,
Topical authority. Yep. It needs to hold together. It needs to interlink with other pages that talk about the same thing. So if I have a blog about a certain product, then I'm going to link the product in there as well. And that increases the rate of conversion for clients that read that blog as well.
Yes, yes. What are the technical aspects of SEO that are important on a website?
Structured data is a big deal.
What do you mean by that?
Structured data. So structured data schema is like you, for example, you have product schema, you have review schema, you have organization schema, you have service areas, depending on what kind of company you are. You have to tell Google what you are, and then you have to link yourself to your Google My Business to tell them, this is what I am, this is who I am, like same as. This is my Twitter, this is my LinkedIn, this is my Instagram. And if you interlink all those, Google will understand better who you are. And that is a big deal really since 2022, but it's becoming a bigger deal.
Yeah.
And a lot of companies don't have it, the microdata. It explains to a search engine who you are, what you do, and who you are.
Yes. And there was a lot of work, the last years about keywords, right? SEMrush, Ahrefs, whatever tools. But now we talked about value and probably identify customers' intent and provide value on every page level. So probably these things are shifting, right? In terms of priority and always evolving. What is the role of keywords and when you write content, and are these tools are even relevant in today's Google environment?
Meaning which tools? You're meaning the tools like SEMrush or to do the keyword research? Yeah, it's a combination. SEMrush is relevant some of the time. It's a combination of looking at what your actual keyword rankings are, Google search counts, so using all the tools together, pulling reports and comparing them. And you definitely have to do gap analysis between you and the competitors, keyword gap, backlink gap, because a lot of times, like with trust score and authoritiveness is becoming a bigger deal again. You need to be linked by trusted websites, and it needs to be relevant, not, like directories are really good for local SEO. So if you're a local business, I definitely recommend citation burst and making sure that all your information is the same everywhere. Because if you have different information in different places, you will have no trust from Google and you will rank worse. So a lot of companies that do a citation burst and have the same information everywhere will do a lot better than those who do not.
Yeah. So obviously the technical side of things that you've shared with us is something that anyone can do, right? You don't need to be a multi-million-dollar to do that. It's some of the fundamentals about how to structure a web page. And on terms of the keyword, I think we also agree that it's probably important, but probably not the most important thing. So I want to ask you if it's a fair game. Big companies, small companies. How can small companies, small brands, succeed in this environment?
It's hard. There's a lot of knowledge. I come from both corporate, small business. I've had my successful startups that I've sold throughout the years. Because of this, the knowledge is hard to gain. There's a lot of SEO companies and agencies out there that have no idea what they're doing. And unfortunately, a lot of these big companies, they sign on to a $50,000 to $80,000 website, which will never help them. And it's too bad. And it's because most people do not have an all-around knowledge of organic search, because it's a lot more than title tags. It's the whole picture. It's the big picture. And if you don't understand why the Google algorithm does what it does, then you won't understand how to work it.
Okay. How Google Shopping is connected to everything that we've discussed until now?
Yeah. So Google Shopping is becoming more and more popular because when you're online, you're looking for a product. You just want to get it done and get it off your list, right? So you're going to Google Shopping because all the products from all the different places are there. So if you don't have a trusted like a shopping platform, and you can't buy it on Amazon, then you're going to look at Google Shopping, and then you're going to go there. You're going to look at the description, see if it fits what you want, hits the pain points, and you're going to look at reviews, right? Because Amazon has trained us to look at reviews. Are the reviews real? Or you don't need reviews if you have a trusted brand that you already know. So it just depends.
Yes. And so let's stay still in the Google ecosystem, right? So we all send emails also through Google, and with the new spam regulations, the 3%, whatever, the 5%. So, I marked as spam, then the domain can in the risk of actually being blocked completely. And also we have YouTube, right, which is another type of content. So
yes.
What do you see is working? Email marketing, everyone, obviously my guest on the podcast, they said, conversion rates are so low, it's so difficult. Obviously for an unknown brand, it's very difficult. For a well-known brand, it's much easier, obviously. So it seems that Google are favoring, the big players maybe. Or what are your thoughts on that?
I agree. It's about branding yourself and customers trusting who you are. And the more direct traffic you get, the more Google trusts you as well. So it's really how do you get big when you have no trust? Because you have to have trust to get trust, right? So it's really hard to gain that ground, and it's a long game. That's what a lot of people don't understand with organic search is they're like, well, I'll just hire a company, they'll be in and out, and we'll have it. No, it's a continuous thing. You can't just hire an agency to come in and do, SEO optimization. It's not going to help you. It's a content continuous strategy. And then you need to come in and, like working for a large corporation that I do, you need to look at optimization and automation in automating different types of jobs that aren't as important, but they are. But you don't need to spend all your time on it. So what do? You use OpenAI or write Sonic and Jasper if you're not as knowledgeable with prompting to optimize content, calendars, content, and then like Bing fired their whole content team because they don't need them. There's a reason. Prompting. If you are good at prompting, you can do so much. Like I can work as a team of 10 or 15 because I have prompts for everything. I have SOPs for everything. I work in a very structured and standardized ways, and it has helped me become more and get further faster with a smaller team. So,
Yes.
a lot of our competitors spend millions where we've been able to automate and optimize our processes to not do that.
Yeah. Got it. So for companies who are just starting out, or for let's say mid-size or big-size companies that are launching probably a new product into the market, overall, if you see, we talked about Google, but we have other like social networks, right? TikTok, Meta, Amazon. Where do you see more traction? Where do you see? What is your recommendation for launching new products these days?
If you're small, WordPress is great. If you're a large company, Magento's awesome. If you have the money, do custom because it'll be faster and it'll cause you less pain in the end. It's a combination. You need to have somebody on board in your company that can help you with this side of things, and cheaping it out or doing temporary fixes is never going to help you get further. You need to find somebody who is willing. It's like building a house. How do you build a house? You have a strong foundation. If you don't have a strong foundation, what happens? It breaks, it falls down, it cracks. You have foundation work. Foundation work isn't fun. So you have to do foundational SEO, structure it correctly. You can't just say come back later and do it. So small companies, I definitely recommend focusing on the technical side first, fixing all your issues and errors. SEMrush is a great tool for it, but it's a larger tool. Hiring a company for an SEO audit and then going through and fixing it, or fixing the issues and errors, that would be the first step in my opinion. And then on page would be the second, off page would be the third, and backlinking. So, but it's not one category, it's like 10, and most agencies don't even have the knowledge in these 10 categories. They only have knowledge in 1 to 2. So it's not an easy job to take on. I won't lie. It's you definitely have to have somebody that doesn't cut corners. That's the big deal. No black hat or gray hat. It won't help you in the end. It'll hurt you. I've seen competitors. I only do white hat. I have seen competitors do gray hat, and they are no longer competing with us. We are way ahead of them now.
Nice. So how brands can analyze like SEO agencies' alternatives, right? How they can tell before the actual engagement that there is a fit and there is a level of professionalism that is there?
Less fluff, definitely somebody who's transparent, says, here's your issues, here's your errors, you can fix this, this, and this. It's hard for somebody without the knowledge to know. There's no like, so organic search there are best practices that you need to adhere to, but there's no like right or wrong way to get there. I definitely say technical, on page, off page, yes, but it's hard to say like there's only one way to do each thing. There's if I say categories, technical, on page, off page, structured data is a big deal. Speed is a big deal. Dynamic content, I say no on that because it could be considered masking. So if you don't know what you're doing on that, don't ever do dynamic content. It's a very risky thing. Be careful with spam, irrelevant content, trying to rank for keywords you're not relevant to. because you can get manual actions. I've seen a lot of big brands get manual actions lately. Even
Wow.
so, even with like, so if you have an affiliate network and somebody writes content about you, then that content is considered your brand and you can get a manual action for it.
Wow.
There's a
So
lot
you
to
have
it.
total ownership of everything, right?
You have to keep an eye on everything, and you
Nice.
have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
that's why you have to automate and optimize, because you have to
Always.
have your eye on everything.
Great. Great information. So let's talk about the content development, right, side of things. What do you see is working these days?
Topical authority. Let's say you want to rank for fryers. Well, you want to talk about fryers, fryer parts. What are people searching for when they actually search for it? You have different intents: transactional, informational,
Mhm.
commercial. So you need to hit all of them in the type of content they would be looking for with that intent. So you need to match that intent. So the strategy is multiple steps. So first you get informational to try to get them in the mid part of the funnel, and then transactional obviously being towards the end of the funnel, and getting the trust score. You need to try to hit them on all parts of that funnel as well.
Yeah. And how do you do the research? How do you know what people are searching for, and how to identify the intent in these various stages of the life cycle, right?
The tools like SEMrush,
Hmm.
that is definitely my favorite. I've used it for many, many years. I know other people that have used, SimilarWeb is another good one. It just depends on what you need and how detailed of a reports you need to run. And then
Yes.
obviously you need to install, Google Search Console, definitely for, because you can actually see in Google Analytics. I'm not a huge fan of GA4. I loved Universal. GA4 is a nightmare compared to Google
Yeah.
Universal. So you can't track the same thing. The historical data is off. I'm pretty sad.
Yeah. So you're creating obviously blogs, like a written content. What else
Yeah.
are you creating? Also like videos, YouTube, how
Yes,
videos work? Yeah.
we do create videos. We talk about the different products and how they use them. We do a lot of different types of blogs for different intents, like what is it? What do you use it for? Who uses it? Because a lot of the people that I have in place that do have industry experience. One of my writers is a sous chef. And so they know what people are looking for and what to look out for. So with the strategy is the base part of the strategy I provide, and then they write through, well, I know my friends or the other people in the industry are looking for this. This is what I used to look for. So it's different types of content, how to clean, what is, it's what, where, who, when, why. And if you can
Mhm.
answer all those questions and hit those pain points, that's what the queries of what Google is looking for as well.
Yes. Yes. And specifically around AI, I know you've implemented a variety of tools, right? I
Yeah.
mean, brands would love to know what's working.
Prompting with SEO knowledge,
That's easy said than done, right?
yeah, it's hard even for me because things change all the time,
Yeah.
and knowing how to prompt is not easy because to prompt you have to have a combination of coding experience and SEO best practices. It's not just one or the other. So to write prompts, there's probably not very many of us that write the prompts in the volume that we do. We've been able to come out with move a lot faster in the different processes because of that, in thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of pages and blogs because
Wow.
of correct prompting.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is
I mean,
not
it's
just on page, it's off page too.
off page too. Yes.
And they're
Yes.
relevant. They're not bad content. They're relevant content. We provide information that people actually read and learn from. And that's important to us.
Yeah. And what are when you write the content, obviously you write for different type of shoppers maybe and different cycles of their purchase decisions, right? How do you
Yeah.
classify this? How do you manage this type of content planning?
We focus on commercial, so we write a lot for commercial. Sometimes we do write for like a semi-pro or somebody who's looking into learning about cooking, but most of the time we're writing for either chains or restaurants, hospitality companies, people with very little time that need to learn what it is, do it fast, and know what's best for them. And that's why the combination of the information on the blogs and the live customer service, which not many people have anymore, I'll tell you, is a great combination for us, because if they don't find it on the blog, we have a chat that comes up, people talk, and we actually assign people, account managers, product experts, to help them make decisions. So it's a combination of the two. You still need a live person to help, depending on what they need. Mostly if they're a big chain, if they have specific measurements, different customizations to different products, hinges left, right. There's so many different things in the industry that you need to take into account.
Yeah. Do you monitor if people are reading the same like they used to probably 3 years ago or 2 years ago?
No.
You think people are still reading versus watching videos or short form videos on TikTok, or what are your data shows?
Less reading, less scrolling, which is why Google Shopping's taken off. People spend less time, they have less time, they work more. They don't want to spend the time on trying to figure out what the best product is. They go with a trusted brand, which is why authority has become a bigger deal. And they want to make a decision fast. So you have about 20 seconds to get a decision made when they're scrolling through the page. So using short content in the beginning, bulletins, bullets talking about different types of features and, specs all in the same place. So, it's you don't have as much time to convince a client to buy from you. And a new product, that is hard. A new brand, launching a new brand, because you have all these Chinese brands that people already don't trust. So they're trying to buy from you. Why are you a Chinese brand? Are you made here, made in America? A lot of people say that. I mean, how do they trust that you have a good brand? You have to be around for a while and build that trust. And building trust costs a lot of money.
Yeah. It's like the theme of this episode, I think, that the building trust, right?
Yes.
I mean, so what I hear you saying is that people have less time comparing alternatives, right? They don't read a lot, but they need to make an immediate purchase decision, right? Which is very, very fast. So they go with the stronger brands that are well known, and probably there's a less risk.
Yes.
It's
well, and also with the economy, a lot of people are going after used before they buy new too. So, I've seen a lot of directories pop up with used equipment as well. But a lot of the bigger companies don't do that because they want the warranties and they want the customer service from the very start. So it just depends on who you are.
Yes. I'm not so optimistic after our chat, Sabina.
It's a hard world right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's a lot to know. It's not a one-step process. It's a 30 to 40-step process, and then maybe you'll get there. An agency going in to do a one-time optimization, that's easy. That's not the hard part. Correcting issues, that's easy. Optimizing for growth continuously, that's hard. Optimizing. You constantly have to refresh your content, because if you have old content, you're not going to rank well for that either. So adding to your content constantly will help you as well.
And this is why I think more brands are shifting their efforts towards probably influencer marketing, TikTok, maybe other more organic type of less crowded markets or communities, right?
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's all crowded. It's
today,
yeah. And that's part of the problem.
And it's more expensive, right? I mean, advertising is getting more expensive. CPCs are expensive. So it's just an era where, only the really, really, really the good brands are, and the companies are still going to, keep being active in this industry. What else do you see as a market or industry trends that are interesting?
Industry trends, technology. We have partnerships with different technology platforms that we help our clients with and integrate. Like IoT. IoT is a big deal. Automation robots, we've installed some of those. But really, I think the main thing I see throughout all different companies right now is optimization of processes, whatever way you can do that. So IoT is great because IoT saves energy. So if you have a huge chain and you have refrigeration fryers, you can actually optimize your energy efficiency. You can, check if a fridge went under a certain temperature and know when to move everything around, lessen the risk of increased food safety. I mean, there's a lot you want to do with a tablet now. You want to be able to attain that data and check the historical data against everything. I mean, everything. Imagine what we could do if everything was integrated into technology onto an iPad, where the chef could look at recipes, see what's cooking, when it's done. And, a lot of time, like a lot of things now, you have sous vide, and sous vide, the chef goes in the morning, he preps it, 8 hours later, a unskilled worker can come in and serve it with a
Nice.
written description on what they need to do. You don't need a chef to be there all day. So technology is going to be what changes the restaurant industry. And optimization of the processes throughout to increase food safety, to decrease the cost to the restaurants for, paying 20 to 30 an hour, whatever it's going to be now in 10 years when they keep going up on that. So optimization.
The drivers to optimization is what? I mean, just increase profit margins, or what are the drivers for that?
Decrease cost. A lot of these places are not surviving, which is why you have the dark kitchens, the ghost kitchens. Less people, more automation, more software. Software does what you want when you want. People don't. People cut corners. People cost you money. They make mistakes. But you still need to have a human touch. So it's a balance.
Sure. So optimization is one thing, and there's the automation, right? Which is, I think, going together. And as technologies and processes are getting more and more complex, right? Automation is obviously required. What are some of the automation use cases that you've implemented and you can recommend to our listeners?
For content, I can tell you. So, I mean, you have to optimize to automate. You have to standardize to automate. If you don't have a standard processes for everything, you'll never be able to automate it. So that's a lot of what I've done with a lot of my departments, is standardized everything they do and make one way forward. It makes it easier to train people. It makes it easier to automate everything. So in content, standardize the writing procedures, come out with a content calendar of, the keywords you want to hit for the year, develop subcategories, interlinking for those that all link back to that main one, create pillar content. Standardizing and optimizing that and creating a plan and sticking to that plan and optimizing the plan continuously, but going in that one way. And the problem is you go one way forward and then the algorithm changes and then you have to pivot. So there's always that, there's things that come up and you have to completely change the direction you've gone for a long time. And I've had to do that many times. But I think the most valuable is to do it the right way the first time. Don't try to cut corners, because long term it'll hurt you.
Yes. And in terms of product diversification versus like focusing on the most profitable products, what's the strategy that you think is relevant for the current industry characteristics?
Developing them all. I have strategies for top 50, bottom 50, trending 50.
Okay.
So
you're segmenting and personalizing everything.
Yes.
And if they're all under the same umbrella brand, or you're just it's one restaurantsupply.com and a lot of categories and products, right? But they are all sharing the same domain, same branding.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's you can always do microsites, blog sites. Hard to manage, hard to upkeep. It just depends on how big of a team you have and what automation you have in place.
Great. Sabina, anything else that we've missed probably?
There's definitely no easy way forward, but there's a structured way forward. Sticking to technical on-page, off-page, developing a strong content calendar that you're going to keep all year, and then developing, if you have 10 categories, stick to those 10 categories, write about those 10 categories, but subcategorize, interlink to, and keep linking back to the same content, so if you write a what is and how to clean, link them together.
Yeah. Oh, I just remember another topic about backlinks, right? I mean, the latest Google update, we saw that backlinks are not so important, but maybe they are. What are your thoughts?
High DA. You have a lot of low DA backlinks that are not worth much. Directories,
Okay.
spam, they're fighting a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
High DA backlinks are worth a lot. You
Okay.
need to have a balance of follow and no follow.
Got it. Great, Sabina. I really appreciate the time and all the insights. It was really interesting. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us on this episode. Your support means the world to us. If today's episode has been insightful for you, consider sharing it with someone who would also benefit. Even one share can make a big difference. Looking to elevate your e-commerce game? Discover Vimy, a multi-channel e-commerce platform that will transform your business with the power of shoppable video. Visit us at vimy.net to learn more. It's Vimy, VIMMI.net. Thank you for being part of our journey. Stay tuned for more invaluable insights in our next episode.